that's his music. And we're gonna start with one of his pieces.
For Valentina.
don't have it prepared. Prepared program. Is that better? Thank you. We have a few words, thoughts that we wanted to share with you. A long time ago, when I was little, probably prompted by my questions, my mom was explaining to me that our life is finite, and that even my life will end one day, but that it will be in a very, very long time. But the thing that distressed me the most is when she admitted that she herself will die and that she's going to die before I do. And I was quite little, and the thought of losing her horrified me the most, and that was the first time that I had to deal with that horrific feeling. She was my best cheerleader and my best friend, particularly when I was a teenager and her and Dad were separated between Czechia and Canada for several years. And then later again after my divorce. She was a very strong leader in our family. We expected her to make plans and about what we would do and how. She smoothed relationships in our family. If I wanted to convince Dad about, or any other family member about something, I first had to get her on board, and then it would go much easier. And if I felt slighted by a family member, I had to discuss it with Mom, who could either talk me out of that feeling or smooth out relationships by gently discussing it with others. And she loved my child. After Ray's father and I, she loved my child the most. I suspected that the cuteness of Ivana's smaller children may have beat the affection she once had for Ray. But before her passing, as she was hardly responding to me anymore, the mention of Ray coming to visit her one more time made her smile in such a way that confirmed her affection for Ray. After her diagnosis, before she lost ability to speak, I was asking her what she would like to do the most. And we were ready to take her to Hawaii between her chemo treatment, or get her back home so that she could enjoy a little bit more time in her house, in her home. But her reply, while thanking me for letting her cook for the two of us that week, this was in Vancouver while Dad had to go emergently back to Europe to sort something out. Her wish was that she could take care of us for longer, take care of her family. After her diagnosis, she was with us for another year, past year, and despite of glimpses of fear of her fate, she was the happiest and most relaxed that I'd ever known her to be. She loved humor and she loved irony with a bit of sarcasm. She had strong emotions that made her fun to be with. She was also very good at expressing and sharing the joyful emotions and trying not to express the negative ones as much. And this was in the forms of compliments or thanks when those were due to other people. She excelled at being happy for other people's successes and fortunes, big or small, and this was not merely just towards her kids. One time she was telling me that she does not understand and probably has not experienced jealousy towards other people. As she became severely physically disabled and relied on the help from the hospice staff and us to do anything for her. As she was losing her speech, the last words that she hung on to was, wow. To communicate her gratefulness to the staff for everything and her wonder at what she was seeing outside, and it just warmed her heart. One memory from her childhood she liked to recall was herself experiencing longing or yearning, and I had trouble understanding what she meant at first. It was longing for anything, like nice things to have. She worried that we were giving our children too much and that it may diminish their experience of longing that she liked so much from her childhood. Maybe it was also the yearning for longer life that made her happy in this past year. I'm grateful for the last year we had her, that we could have her close by here in Vancouver, and we thank Dad for making this happen. He suffered as a result. That I'm thankful that she was with us for a whole year instead of a few months, as is more typical for people with her diagnosis. I'm thankful that until the last several days of her life, she was mostly happy, happier than I've known her to be before.
I have to get my glasses because I won't be able to see. Excuse me.
I think Ivana needs a bit of a break before she's.
I need my glasses. I think I'm gonna stand here. Is that okay? Thank you for that. I loved it, and thank you for your beautiful music. My mom would have really enjoyed it, I think, and it would have probably brought a tear to your eyes. It should have brought tears to my eyes. Well, it's hard to know what to say about someone you've known and loved your whole life. How do you summarize a person who shaped you, who comforted you, laughed with you, and loved you without hesitation? My mom was the best mother I could ever have imagined. She loved us unconditionally, and I'm heartbroken that she won't get to see her grandchildren grow up. We always thought she'd live a long life, since longevity ran in her family. Her grandmother lived to be 106. It just felt like we had more time ahead of us. It always feels like there's more time. But here we are, learning to live in this new reality, a reality that seems to cut as sharp as a knife at the moment. I have so many memories of her, small moments, vivid moments, beautiful, ordinary days. But what stands out the most is simply knowing how much and how deeply she loved us. Her family was her everything, and she showed that love not in grand gestures, but in the thousand small ways she cared for us, listened to us, and supported us. As a young child, I was extremely attached to my mom. I still remember my first day of daycare. It's funny how certain childhood memories seem to stick in your mind. It was winter or perhaps early spring, I'm not certain. But she wore this long beige corduroy skirt when she dropped me off. And I clung to that skirt like my life depended on it. The teacher had to peel me off of her. And I think the separation anxiety took on a whole new meaning that day for anyone involved. I refused to eat. I think I even threw up a little. But what I remember most is the feeling. My mom was my safe place, and I felt lost without her. And truly, she remained that safe place for the rest of my life. Somehow she always knew what to say to make things better. And even as an adult, even as a parent myself, there were times when hearing her voice was all I needed to feel grounded again. She had this calmness about her and a very steady presence that made everything feel a little less overwhelming. Some of my favorite memories with her are from her travels in Europe. She loved seeing new places, she loved architecture, she loved learning and history. One especially memorable trip was when I took her to Italy and showed her my favorite spots. She was well over 60 at the time, but she still let me drag her through Florence and 3 museums, all in one day. And she actually enjoyed it. I mean, we were all collapsed in the main square afterwards, but we loved it. She never complained, and she soaked it all in. She had this genuine curiosity, joy for art, for beauty, for history. I think it's thanks to her that I discovered my own interest in art history. And sharing that with her and watching her eyes light up as we strolled through various streets and shops and visited monuments and beautiful spots, and I really treasure those memories. She and my dad visited us often, considering the long drive from Calgary and despite her terrible car sickness. I loved having her here. She had a way of making herself at home without ever being in the way. She was always so helpful and always tuned into what was needed, sometimes even before we realized what we needed ourselves. And as she got older and wasn't as capable physically, she remained the easiest, most lovely person to have around. Her presence filled the house with a sense of calm and peace. This past year after her diagnosis, my mom took my breath away with her strength. I would have been a complete basket case, but she took everything in stride and fought as hard as she could. She stayed positive and never let her grim prognosis take her joy away. She still found reasons to smile, to see the humor in the things we said, to laugh at us when we bickered in front of her, and to enjoy the small moments. Even when she became bedridden and unable to speak, she found ways to show happiness whenever she saw us. And until the very end, she smiled or laughed when we walked into the room. It kind of felt like she was reassuring us, telling us that she was still there, still herself. I'm so grateful she was at a hospice close by where we could visit her almost every day. And in that place, her laughter became famous. You could hear her laughing at funny videos down the hall, quite loudly, I should add, or with the nurses, or at my dad. It was easy to make her laugh, and I think that's because she wanted to. She chose laughter. She chose joy whenever it was available to her. That was who she was. People often say that those we love never really leave us. And for a long time, I thought this meant that our memories keep them alive in our minds. And now I think it's more than that. I know she's gone physically, but it still feels like she's here with me. I can almost hear her voice when I'm worrying over things, like when I was obsessing over the slideshow that I put together, or what to put on her, what to dress her in for her final send-off. Не делайся с тем хлебом, or don't sweat it. It's fine how it is, she would say. And somehow even now that brings me comfort. I'll always have regrets about the things said or unsaid, the things I didn't do, and the things I wish I could redo with more patience or more time. There are so many of those. But when I step back, when I breathe through this grief, I'm left with gratitude. A deep, overwhelming gratitude that I had her for as long as I did. Gratitude that I can still feel her love. And gratitude that she loved us so completely and that we loved her back. Her love isn't gone. It didn't end. It's something I'll carry for the rest of my life. And I think that's the truest legacy she could have left us. Thank you.
It is a bit difficult for me to do this. I met my life partner during the first year of our studies at the Civil Institute of Technology in Liberec City. Tall girl with a beautiful dark hair. Everyone must been noticing her. Our friendship began on our walks from school to dormitory and lasted until the end of our studies. I have no idea. I love her actually. Gradually, the reality that our paths would separate after graduation made me realize that I could not imagine life without her. I was already in love, and the thought of rejection felt like a bad dream. I was begging her. She waited for me for 2 years while I had to serve in Czechoslovak army. I had no idea how true my words would prove to be when I said, I will never be bored with her. I never really managed to predict what she would do or how she would react, and that remained true until the very last second of her life. She died with a smile on her face. Wow. Where did her persistent dissatisfaction with everything go? And especially with me, her husband. And once again, I saw how little I understood her. I never did. She was incredibly honest and principled. And she expected the same from those around her. People, in their limitations, my son included, might see her naive, but perhaps it was precisely that I fell in love with. She loved walking in the mountains, hiking, actually more with our friend than with me, because my bad knee is striking quite soon. We were more together on cross-country skis. because that's a better sport for those bad knees. And occasionally we went cycling together. She loved it when I gave her flowers. Why didn't I bring them her every day? I wish I could live my whole life once more. Be the person she wanted me to be, and then I would not have to regret who I was. She loved sewing and was very good at it. She even made her own wedding dress. And later she cut it short for other occasions. I do not believe in afterlife, but I hope that when I'm dying, the thought that I might soon be joining her bring a smile to my face too. It's unfair. Women should live longer. I should be there first.
like to say anything, or if you have any memories of my mom, there's no pressure, of course, but of course we're open to that. So we can either do that now or after the slideshow. Perhaps after the slideshow, so people can have some time to think if they want to. So if we could start that now, that would be perfect. If anybody would like to come share a few memories about our mom, now would be the time.
I'm Peter, son-in-law, ex-son. I wasn't really planning on anything, but I have Valentina, a lot of memories going on right now. The first one that I was thinking about was the first time that I met her when I started dating Marquetta and fell in love with Marquetta. I don't know whether I was thinking specifically about that, but I know for sure that the thought that this could be a person who I have kids with and spend a life with had a lot to do with the family that was coming along, and that it really struck me that that Valentina was a beautiful person, and that played a big part in me sticking around and continuing to. It's always hard when circumstances happen because it has nothing to do with stopping loving anybody really. So I'm still grateful. In this last year, the last thing that I was just remembering now was Ray and I went to visit a while ago, and she just still had that laugh, because I was wheeling her around, doing wheelies and making car noises and stuff like that. And she has this laugh out loud like a little girl, and it was always fun to try to bring that out in her. It wasn't that hard. My dad, who just passed a few months ago as well, also really enjoyed her company and finding ways to bring out that laugh in a teasing manner. And I'll hope to never stop being able to hear that. I remember. So, thank you.
I just want to thank you, all of you, for coming here to share with us these sad moments. And also want to thank you all those who are on a video, zvláště těm, kteří možná nemluví anglicky a dívají se na to z Evropy, z Čech. Děkuju všem za účast.
Anyway, let's move over to the reception area. Let's all move to the reception area. There's some for all of us. I don't think they're going to talk. No one can hear me. Let's move to the reception area. My sister said you can hear me.
said, calming down, you hold it, and Valentina, when we watch TV, let's say, that evening, she would hold her Lego
Pebble rocks.
rocks and just calming down.
And then she did the same with these shells that we picked in Hawaii. So we're just giving her a few things. Like
And
that.
something that was then. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
I go first.
I'll go last.